It's like 23, so it's like 17 years ago, and I was going through I was reading loads of self-help books and trying to, because I was just a quiet, shy kid. I was trying to get more confidence, and I'm terrified of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm terrified of getting in that cage and fighting someone. It's a scary thing to do. This guy just gets wheeled in, severely disabled, just gets wheeled in, dead slow. Because the only space for him to be is in the middle of the front, and and the whole place just goes. And I looked at them, I was like, what do you all think I'm gonna say? Yeah, what the do you think I'm gonna do? And they got a laugh, and then so he got to me, and I went, "You're all right, mate," and he was just there. Anyway, I've been better. I was meant to go, so I had a tour scheduled through Evan at this tour, and we were about to go, and it was selling, and I was like, fuck, we're gonna have to cancel this tour.
Welcome back to the Tanked Up Podcast, episode 26. We got Paul Smith, comedian. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you. Thanks
Appreciate
for having me.
Coming down.
Let's get straight into it. Paul, tell us why you're in Wales.
I'm doing some shows, and you've been kind enough to let me jump in and do some training this morning. Punched me in the face a few times. It was it's good. Yeah,
jump into that a little bit. So obviously you've got for those who don't know, you've got a MMA fight in November, as you said. On Octagon MMA.
Just saying to your dad, I think I'm having a midlife crisis, and I'm deciding at the age of 40 to take up professional MMA.
What's made you want to do that then? What's the?
Do you know what? I've been asked to do these things so many times. I love MMA, and I watch a lot of MMA, and I get asked to do these things every couple of. It seems to be like the start every year. About 50 people offer me a fight because they think I'm like their marathon. They're like, oh, I'll just punch his head in.
How long have you been training?
I've done a little bit of grappling before, but never nothing seriously. I did taekwondo when I was younger, but yeah, I just it came up. And every other one of these I've been offered, it's been on like a celebrity card, and it's I found it a little bit disrespectful, if I'm honest. I was like, I just found it to be a little I thought it was a little bit shitty for people to be watching, loads of people to turn to watch me fight when there's amazing fighters out there who aren't getting watched. But this is on a proper card, and I thought so. It just came about at the time I was looking at. There's an amazing charity in Liverpool that's been supported by Molly McCann and Tony Bellew, called Weapons Down, Gloves Up. A lot of gun crime and knife crime, so they're trying to get kids into combat sports, and there's employment programs off it and stuff like that. So and they offered me dead good money for it, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just give the money to them and do it. And mentally it was better for me, because then I thought it's just a challenge for me then. I'm not doing it for the cash.
The thing is, I think all combat sports are going on that road. Look at the success with the YouTubers, you know.
Yeah.
Even before this big push with Jake Paul, Logan Paul and the rest of it, there was a show. Remember me and you went up to Birmingham, it must be 3-4 years ago, Cage Warriors, and we were introduced to them YouTubers.
Yeah, that's right.
They'd fought on at Manchester Arena.
Yeah.
And they'd sold 20,000 tickets, sold it out. KSI was
no, it wasn't KSI. It was KSI, the Sidemen. And there was something to do with them, and obviously at the time, YouTube wasn't quite what it is now. It was but they were starting to blow up, and they had them all front row, didn't they? And they were kind of like the Cage Warriors marketing guy was explaining, it's this guy's got fucking 3 million subscribers and this. And can you remember he told us, didn't he? So the guy who done the marketing for Cage Warriors at the time created iPhone games on his phone, and he paid this one YouTuber for a 20-second clip underneath his video whilst his video was playing, and he paid him 50 grand.
Oh my God.
That's how much traction and views. He paid him 50 grand to advertise a game for 20 seconds. But that was the start of it all, wasn't it?
They got a million views on YouTube. Which was mental. Going back to the charity bit, what sort of things, is it a real issue at the moment, knife crime up in Liverpool?
Oh, it's terrible. Going on knife crime, there's kids, just the amount of kids over the past year just who've been killed, just innocent kids who've got nothing to do with it. A terrible story of a young girl who's just, two kids, one's chasing another one with a gun. He's tried to cut him into a house to get away. Fella's gone in, just shot 9-year-old girl dead. You know what I mean? It's awful.
And it's mindless. Over what?
And that's the thing, it's very easy to go, the kids are horrible, bang no updates. But a lot of these kids are just scared themselves, desperate. They got no like out. Like I'm from a place like we've just come in here. I'm from quite a rough place, and like, but it was never that bad when I don't remember it being as bad as it is now. Whereas like,
do you think it's got a lot worse then? Yeah,
I think it is, and it's obviously you've got all the social media and stuff. Like it's that builds it up a little bit more. Where you're like, I think they're all kind of the idea of you could go out any day and get stabbed or something and it's getting filmed or whatever, and like. Once that's in your head, you don't feel safe going out the house. You don't feel safe. I
think social media has had a massive impact. Because you know, I always liken it to back 10 years ago. The travelling communities when they were going to fight, they sent each other these videos. Well, now you've seen it with gangs, whether it be London, Liverpool, Cardiff, where they're doing Snapchat videos. Because they disappear straight away. Don't it? You know, I work in a school 3 days a week, and I've seen it where. Guys with balaclavas and machetes and making threats. There's a postcode war going on in Cardiff. It doesn't ever make the news. I see it on a daily basis because I'm working in that school. And it's bad, as you said, there's kids getting stabbed. The thing I believe, and he'll tell you, election or not, there's such a lack of consequence and discipline in our system. This is why the last 10 years have gone bad. So, I won't name names, but I've got kids that I'm working with that have been arrested with machetes. They've come into school and there's never ever like a real consequence. It's like a 6-week knife away in a school. So what happens then? I've only had 6 weeks for carrying a machete. I might stab somebody. They stab you. They get 6 months. You know. Yeah. What you need is a brutal sentence for anybody who carrying a knife. You soon see that change, the mindset on it. But at the moment, there's a lack of consequence.
I've seen something like that on Instagram, and it was kind of like, the majority, 95% of people who are carrying a knife are carrying a knife because they're gonna stab someone or they're prepared to stab someone. So if you get caught with a knife though and you haven't used it, what do you get? Like a caution?
And then even if you're not, you get forced into it then at some point. Maybe when even if you don't want to use it, you just got it for protection. If something happens, your chances
at the start of lockdown, I made a joke about, like, I was sat in my house and I'd made a joke going, my head's falling off here, and my mate had bought a load of planters to like grow potatoes. And I couldn't get some, so I was like, I'm going to get a sword. Because then if he's got potatoes and I've got a sword, I've got potatoes and a sword. It's just a joke. Someone sent me a fucking sword, like this, like a full size, like 6 foot, like fully sharp katana. And I had it in the house and I was like, in my head I thought, fuck, if anyone comes in here now, they're fucked. And then I thought, fucking I'm fucked there, because if anyone comes in here now and I know that sword's there, and if someone breaks in my house, and my kids are there, I am going to grab that sword. Of course I am, do you know what I mean? And then I was like, that's probably the worst thing I could have in my house.
Got a sword, potato and a leg.
There's also a lack of education around it. Like, we've got like a hub of some sort in our school, where the disengaged kids then, rather than being excluded, they work with Greg and different things, and we try and put them on programs and education. And we had this gang member come in, Somalian lad, big intimidating boy, I've been around lad men all my life, and when he walked in I thought, this guy got a bit about him, Yeah. And it was good to have somebody like him speak to these kids, because I can tell him all the things in the world, like, what do you know about it? You're not a gang member, right? But he's delivering this like, it's not a speech, no, it's interactive, and he's talking, he's showing videos, but the mindset is like, but if we stab them up the arse, they don't die. He's like, are you for real? But this is a mindset of it, and again, it's all down to YouTube, it's down to Facebook, it's the
music as well is a big one.
It's also massive. TV. Do you know what? And I've said this from day one. Top Boy have caused me more problems working as a behaviour specialist in a school, the programme, than anything. Accents changed overnight. Yeah. Genuinely, accents changed, right? They coming in, kids that have been talking to me like in a proper like valley accent, they're like, blood, let me tell you, blood. What's going on?
You see it all the time. Fucking these kids in Atlanta speaking the same. Are you from the fucking valleys? Are you speaking like fucking Jamie off Top Boy? You fucking live 2 minutes from me.
He goes like, bro, he's going to get chipped, bro. He's going to get chipped.
Kidulthood and adulthood was the same, wasn't it?
Mate, you're from the fucking estate down in Ely. You're not from South Jamaica. Why are you talking to me like he's a white guy from Ely?
Yeah.
But genuinely, but the Somalian lad that come in, and I'll go back to him, was brilliant. I think more schools need to, because a lot of schools are afraid to address that and say, we haven't got a problem in our school. There's no problem in our school. Not about having it. It's about deterring it anyway. And this guy gave a speech. And by the end, he had him eating out with his hand. And one guy laughed. One of the kids laughed. He got 14 of the kid. He says, my brother, he said, stabbed somebody, blah, blah, ended up having 10 years in jail. And he laughed. And he turns around in the middle of this, like, 20 minutes. big 6'7" stone. He goes, "You fucking laughing at my brother having 10 years in jail?" And you could see the life fall out of all these kids, like. And I just sat back and thought, "Fill your boots, then. This is the type of education they need."
Yeah.
Like he said, "Don't laugh," he said, "because you might have to bump into me one day in the middle of Cardiff, and then it'll be a different conversation." But that's what they needed, because they think it's a joke.
Yeah.
It is. And I can imagine a city like you is probably 10 times the scale we got in Wales. You know?
Part of it, yeah. I mean, it's bad. Like it's really bad. But I think like you'll have more idea of this. Just dip and might. I've been training for a couple of months now. I feel like if they can see someone like me doing it, I'm not a fighter. Do you know what I mean? I'm a fucking soft ass. My response to like getting picked on in school is just to learn how to take the piss out of people, some ginger kid in school. And that's the one way of doing it. But that's kind of, I thought if they can see me doing it, then like, and I'm terrified of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm terrified of getting in that cage and fighting someone. It's a scary thing to do. So if they can see me doing it, hopefully they'll go, "Oh, okay, I can do that," or it's something I can look at doing it. But it's not even necessarily to go and fight. Just something I didn't expect. It's just in the last 3 months I've been training, going to Thomas Place and going around and getting in places like yours. The atmosphere is incredible for a start, so it's just dead nice to be there, which is a weird thing to say because you're getting punched in the face. It's dead nice.
I find it's one of them, and it's like, it's the old, without sounding cringe, it's the old saying, like, a lion will never have to tell you it's a lion. Like, when you walk into a gym full of fighters, there's no one there trying to be the big hard man, because they all know how to fight. They all know they can handle themselves, and they're all there. They're not there to fight, they're there to train.
But you took all your aggression out as well all the time. Exactly. You get humbled all the time.
Whereas you go into a pub or a nightclub or whatever, and there are people that can't fight, will try and have you believe that they are this and they are that. Whereas that's why I think, like, people got a common misconception with MMA gyms and boxing gyms, because they think you'll walk in there and everyone's kind of going to be like gunning you down, and
we just had this conversation
and gonna fucking
that's been the most surprising thing for me, is like I've been walking into all these places, like I walked in there, never been in there before, everyone's lovely, everyone's nice, I'm just having a normal chat with everyone, and like no one's going too hard. If you're pushing me but you're not going too hard, you know what I mean? Everyone's just dead nice, and it's so good for your mental health. Like I float around after that all day, not stressing out. Just people are saying, I'm not even worried about people like nervous about shows. I'm not even thinking about shows. I'm thinking about that. Do you know what I mean?
What was your first taste of MMA? Was it like watching the UFC? Was it local kind of? When did you first remember watching it and thinking, "Fuck me, that's"?
Well, me, I used to live with my mate. We used to have me and my brother used to live in this fucking shitty flat, and bad potheads. We had fucking UFC 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on knockoff DVDs. Used to watch them all, thinking we were fucking knew what we were talking about, trying to grapple each other in the living room. And then I just became obsessed with it. Used to always, and then we started watching The Ultimate Fighter and things like that. And it's just always used to watch it. I'm not a football fan, that's the only sport I can kind of show any interest. Even I used to like boxing, but even boxing I can't really watch anymore since I got into the UFC. I kind of.
When was your first training session? When did you actually taste it?
First time I did any kind of grappling, must be about. God, it would be a few years back. A place called MMA Academy, Jason Tan's.
Yeah.
So nice
ex-UFC guy, Jason.
Yeah. Jason's a good guy. So I went down there a few times. But I was training for a few months, and it was and then ripped my shoulder out, just trying to frame up, rip my shoulder out, and I was like, oh, don't do that again. So that was kind of my first taste of doing that. But since I just love it. It's like chess. I quite like playing chess, and I know people make that comparison all the time. But there is a lot.
Which is why I think it's so good mentally, because your brain is constantly working, functioning. Like he'll tell you, I don't shut off. I'm constantly thinking. Yeah. We can watch a UFC event. I get on the news because I rewind all the time, don't I?
Oh, fucking hell. So, like,
something will happen in a fight now. Right, stop. Watch this now. I'm fixated with it.
Yeah. Someone will get knocked out, it's like, and like, fucking hell, here we go. Boom. And then, like, you're waiting for the sound. He's like, boom, pause, rewind it. I'm like, they're going to fucking show the replay now. Just give them 30 seconds. Like, watch it again. Fucking hell. Like, it's like, fucking.
Didn't even see the ref pull him off there.
Yeah, but it's good for me mentally because, I haven't been well lately. And during the periods when I can't train, I can't sleep, my mind is overactive, where sometimes I can have a really bad day, go down there, train, and even at my age, I'm 50. Or am I 51? I think 51. I still train every day, still grapple every day, And I come from it feeling a million. I feel battered. Physically, I feel exhausted, but mentally, I'm on top of the world. My mind is better. My mood.
Yeah.
I've been in a mood. It'll be the first day the last couple of weeks. I'm like, flipped my lid yesterday in the gym, and when I got home,
he's flipping his fucking lid.
I absolutely flipped, and I sat down in the house, and I thought, you wouldn't have reacted like that if you was actively training at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, so I do all my hands up and think, but it's good for me, and it's good for other people. And as we said, we got a gym full of characters, you know, from your Marshmans, your Martin McDonoughs, your Chris Edwardses, who all loaded out to say, if I hadn't found this sport, I'd be doing a lengthy prison sentence.
Yeah.
You know, so it is good. It keeps you on a straight and narrow, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I think like training in general, and I've never trained MMA, but I've been trying to get up every morning and go training before work. And like you say, it just rids that anxiety for the whole day. You're just like floating around and everything's just happening, isn't it?
You'll never feel... You might not want to go to the start, but you'll never regret training afterwards. Whenever you finish a session, you'll always feel, well, I'm glad I done that. No matter how tired or sore, you'll never think, fuck me, I could have done without that.
Today's a perfect day. I guarantee all of you have walked in that gym. It's -3 outside. It's cold. You've got your hoodie, and it's like, oh, what's he going to put us through today? And then by the end, you think, do you know what? We've had a really good quality hour there. Sweat on, good energy. We've learned a bit. We've drilled a bit. And you come from it feeling $1 million.
Do you know who you're fighting, Paul?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They haven't announced them yet, so I'm not sure I can say.
But people out.
Is it another celebrity?
Yeah.
Has he trained in the past?
As far as I know, he's done a bit of boxing. He's had a boxing fight that I know of. Yeah.
Just without name, British guy or European?
He's British. Yeah.
You say it and we'll beep it.
How are you?
It rhymes with.
How are you feeling for it? Like, because you were saying in the gym earlier, it's not till November, so you don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I feel. Like every time I think about it, I feel like maybe I should be more nervous about it. I don't know. I'm scared of doing it, definitely, but it's not that. Do you know what I'm scared of? Is that, like, I've said I'm not drinking till November. I'm trying to like watch what I eat. I'm making sure that I haven't missed the training session. I don't want to miss anything because I know my own head and I know what I'm like. I'm quite a weird, obsessive kind of person. And I know if I get to that fight and I lose that fight and I've done everything and I've trained properly, then I'll be able to look myself in the eye. But if I get there and I know I've had a fucking pint now, I know that's not going to make a difference, but in my head I'll go, if I never did that, I might have won and that'll do my head in forever.
Everything's around regret, Paul, right? I've been doing this a long time and I say to all the lads, and I'm at them weekly with it, that I don't care if you lose.
Yeah. If
you have given me 100% for 10 weeks and you've gone in that cage and you've given me 100%, I don't care if you get sparked out in a minute. Don't care, couldn't care less. The result is irrelevant. You've given me that effort. But don't look back and think, as you said, I had a beer 4 weeks ago. Honestly, didn't tell Shaky about it, shouldn't have done. Because that haunts you. When I've been here as a fighter myself 20 years ago, where I lost a tournament because I wasn't fit enough, and to this day, it haunts me. I beat a guy in the first round who's a round robin, and this is a story he's probably fed up with you, isn't it? It was 2 groups of 4. I won my group, and the top 2 of each group go into the semi-finals. So I fought the guy that comes second out of this group, beat him, I go to the final. The guy who I'd beaten and submitted in the first round has won his fight, so I meet again in the final, and he beat me on points because I was exhausted. And I came from there, and I was like, I've lost a gold medal now against somebody that was fitter than me, not better than me. And that I can't deal with. If he submitted me and he was better than me, no problem. I go to bed, I sleep like a log. But we're 20 years on, I still won't. It was a poxy
I did it twice.
Brimo Rugby Club. Like.
It's a poxy little grappling tournament in Brimo Rugby Club on the dance floor. And I'm still talking about it.
If you're out there, he's coming for you. He wants a rematch.
Round 3.
Fuming on. Let's go back to your career. So, like, it's funny how things work, because I've been a fan of yours, and I've sent Jack videos long before we've had an introduction via Tom. Today, I've become Paul Smith's top fan on the Facebook. We'll put that on the credits after.
That's claim to fame now.
I've been a big fan of it, and it was surreal. Because Tom's messaged me, for the viewers who don't, Tom Blackledge, who's a brilliant coach, brilliant guy. Trained with some of the best people in the world. He was on the UFC. Just a really good, quality human being and martial artist. So he sent me, my mate's down in Cardiff, and he's like, give me a name, but it's like gone over my head a little bit. And then he's WhatsApped me, and I thought, fucking know that guy in the picture on the WhatsApp. And so are you Paul Smith the comedian? Yeah, I'm a big fan of your work. But
I screenshotted it and said I'm going on it.
I just think it's, human right. So how
do you even get?
How did you become a professional comedian?
How do you even get into it?
Were you this character in school? Let's go back to the beginning of school.
You've met me today. I'm quite quiet, aren't I? Really? I'm not like. People get quite disappointed in me because they think I'm going to say it. I'm like, I'll fucking stay to you. But I'd be fucking exhausted if I was like that. It'd be terrible.
Yeah. I tried to dress decent because of that. I was thinking he's going to fuck me over.
I said, fuck me.
See, here he is. I knew it.
No, I don't know what it is. I did it. Again, it's much like this. I was like 23. So it was like 17 years ago. And I was going through, like, I was reading loads of self-help books and trying to, because I was just a quiet, shy kid. I was trying to get more confidence. And I used to go to the comedy club all the time, and I got a message saying, do you think you're funny? There's a 4-week comedy course, which is a stupid, ridiculous thing. But I was in work, I was a graphic designer. I went, I could do that messing, and he went, fuck off. And because they said I couldn't do it, I was like, I could do that. And then I signed up for it, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? So then I thought, I'm going to have to tell everyone, so I can't back out. So I told everyone I knew, and then it come round, and we had to go to this course and try and write stuff, and I couldn't think of fuck all, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing, man? What am I going to do? And we come to the show, and for some reason, when I walk out on the stage, everything just went, all the worry went, everything went, and I've never felt more at home in my life. Something came out of me, and I became like I'm a lot bigger on stage. I'm a lot more confident. I'm not a confrontational person, but I've had fucking big fellas like start, and I've been like, I'll front them out. I don't know why. I don't know what. If that was over there, like I'd be like, I'm sorry, mate. But like, because it's here, I'm like, well, I'll fucking smash your head, and I'll smash your head. I don't know what it is. I don't know where to get this confidence. Something, as soon as I get on that stage, I just feel dead free, and it's like it's meditative. It's like, I don't know. I just love being there. So like, and I did it once, and I was like, I can't do anything else now.
Well, so did you start off on a small circuit, local club?
Yeah. I mean, I started out a few, and then I built my way up on the circuit a little bit. I was traveling around the country. Weird because my head fell off a little bit. And
what do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Just like traveling around, and I got on TV, and then that didn't work out for me. You know, when you think something's you think something's a big opportunity, and then it doesn't work out. You go, wow, fuck them. That's never going to work out for me. And I kind of got in my own head about it. And then that's weirdly when the first time when I met Jason, so I was like, I'm not doing comedy anymore. I fucked it off for a few months. I started training, and then I bumped into a mate outside the gym, and he was like, "Where have you been?" And I told everyone in the gym, because people ask what you do. You say a comedian. Yeah. But I was like, because what the fuck else am I going to say? So I'm with some lad out of the gym, and he's like, "Where have you been? Like, are you not gigging anymore?" I was like, yeah, because I was embarrassed. And he went, "Oh, there's a new like Hot Water where to play all the time, where all them videos are from. They just started. Went, there's a new gig in the pool. Sign up for it." Signed up. No intention of going. And then I was at my mate's barbecue, and I forgot, and I was pissed. And he went, and the reminder come up, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm meant to have a gig tonight." And he went, let's go. So I went down. I hadn't gigged for about 8 months, and I'd forgot all my stuff. So I used to start out by saying, like, because I was so scared of people heckling me. I used to start out by going, "Hello." So a lot of people call me redhead, ginger pubes, Kinga Minga, ginger tosser, copper wire, copper bollock, copper down, sun dodger, Duracell, rusty nuts, rusty bollocks, rusty Lee. She's black, that doesn't even make sense. Carrot top. Oh, lucky nits having a bonfire. That hurts from a 6-year-old girl. Because I thought if I can get all them out the way,
you got nothing for you.
Fuck all else. By the time they thought of another one, it's gonna be over. But I started trying to do it, and I couldn't get it out. I was like, couldn't remember it. So I was panicked, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to start talking to the crowd, which I never did before. I was always terrified of it, and I was just, because I was half cut, I was just started picking on the crowd. And then it was boss, and the guy come up and went, "Do you want to just host?" And I was like, "So I ended up just hosting there." And then it just did that, and I thought, this is nice, because I hated traveling around. I quite like it now because it's my crowd.
It was a full-time job at the one venue.
We started on a Sunday, and then we just started getting a regular crowd, and so Sunday and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so we had the full weekend, so I was working, and then it became every night. I was working every single night doing it, and that's when the videos started going out. And I think that's why I was people think I came out of nowhere, like, because on the circuit, everyone kind of forgot I was there. But I was literally gigging more than anyone else. Yeah. I was just getting better at what I did.
In all walks of life, you know, as a profession, that tends to be the thing. People see the end product. They look at him in UFC, say, it's easy to go. They don't look at the travelling to a workman's club in Swansea and doing a fight in a boxing ring. Same with yourself, you know. you've got, and I know I'll just say, I think you're one of the best on the circuit. I love your work. But you haven't got there by chance. It's graft. Like you said, all them small clubs, having the knockbacks, not getting it for 8 months, maybe appreciating it a bit more than when having that reaction, turning up pissed up and ad hoc in it on the night. Just builds you as a character.
That's what I was going to, because I listen to like quite a lot of comedy podcasts like Joey Diaz and Brian Callen and all that. So, like the first couple of years, is it as rough as they say it is? Like you said, trying to get your act going, like telling jokes, no one's laughing.
Just because the gigs are shit.
Yeah.
Like, because what people don't like, I get asked to do I'll come and do my wedding or come and do this, and people offer me good money, and I just say no because like, you don't realize I'll fucking ruin your wedding. Like, and it'll be shit. Like, it won't even be good ruining your wedding. Do you know what I mean? It'll just be shit because there's a lot that goes in. Like, if you come to our comedy club, it's the best comedy club. It's easy the best in the country. One of the best in the world because we've took like 12 years figuring out how to set up a comedy club. So you walk in, everyone's packed in tight, everyone's close, the focal point is the stage, the music's all right, all the security are nice but like firm, everything's thought about. Because if you can't have tables because people start chatting to each other, you can't have distractions in the room.
Actually, though, I never thought that table.
Do you know what I mean? There's lots like, and people think I could just like get up in a pub and start going and take the piss. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because it'll be fine, it'll be all right, but it's not going to be the same. Yeah. It's not going to be the same idea. People don't realise what goes into it. But when you first start, you're forced to do that kind of shit. And it does, it makes you stronger because you have to learn to deal with these different situations. Yeah. But, I mean, I've got to gigs before and fuck me, like, there's like, half the people in the pub don't even know there's comedy on. Do you know what I mean? You're in there local, do you know what I mean? You can't tell them to shut up. Like, stop having fun, everyone. I'm here to be funny.
It was a bit like that. We went to a charity night every Christmas in Appley. They do like a charity night and you have like 2 bands and a comedian, and they fucked up because they put a band on first.
Yeah, that's a bad
So everyone started getting fucking rowdy, pissed up, and then they put a comedian on. So, but then obviously when the comedian's on, everyone's already fucking howling. Yeah. It was tables. No one's listening to the comedian, and you felt a bit bad for him. But like you said,
and we were enjoying him, weren't we?
Yeah,
and like there was a couple of people standing up and going, "Shut the fuck up!" He's talking, you know. And it started changing the atmosphere.
A bit fucking hostile in there.
Hostile in there. Like, I feel my temper going. I was thinking, I feel someone in, you know.
But then, like you said, at the same time, it's like, you can't get people pissed up and rowdy and dancing with a band and then tell them to shut the fuck up because the comedian's on.
Touching on the wedding, you know, if you do a gig in a comedy club, we come in, we know what we're coming for. You know, we bought tickets because we want to come and laugh at you. You go to a wedding, you know what a wedding's like on the best of nights, isn't it? Don't like the disco, don't like the best man speech. There's always going to be grumpy, horrible people.
That's what I
Imagine the comedians.
You just calling your uncle a cunt or something. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Jack's mum's going
to be tapping. Jack's mother now will be private messaging Paul. Yeah. What are you doing swearing on here? Said the C word. Obviously, you got like 400k followers on Instagram. You got like fucking millions of likes and views on TikTok. Now, when did it start? When did you start to notice it like blowing right up?
When was it? It was like 2018. It went mad. There was one video that went mad where I picked on a kid and said he was a drug dealer, and he was a drug dealer.
I just watched that one last night.
But that was so lucky because they weren't filming me at that point. Like, so we had Monday night where they had the camera. They had two people in filming, but while I was on, because I literally said to them, no one's gonna want to watch me. Like, I'm just talking shit. Like, film the people doing jokes. You know what I mean? So while I was on, they were filming the crowd, you know, so we could make it look like the telly because we didn't have enough cameras.
Yeah.
So it's like, but if you notice in that video, a guy gets I got to act on, he comes off, and I've got to go on in between and just basically bring the next act on. But a guy gets up right in the middle of the front row and goes to the toilet, and I thought, well, I can't bring the next guy on because he's going to come back halfway through his set and ruin his video. So I thought, I just have to stay here till he comes. So I just picked on that guy. And luckily, just by sheer, like, I was like, I could have said, what, you? And he went to work at Jag, and his mate went, like that. I went, why has he just looked at you like, you defo sell BQ? And his mate went, and I was like, you fucking do, don't you? And it just went off. And then, so that went on. And I went away to Portugal for my mum's 60th. And then when I came back, I had no idea. Like, it had gone mad. It just went viral. Yeah. And I've come back, and we landed, and it was quite late. And we had none in the house. So I took the baby to Tesco for bread and milk, and I'm pushing around in a trolley. And there's these 3, like, scally lads just, like, looking at me, and I thought, the fuck are they doing? And it was like, they were along the end of the aisle, just, like, peeping at me. And, like, they followed me along. And I was like, am I getting fucking mugged in Tesco? I can't get mugged in Tesco with the baby. And I'm like, proper starting to flap it. I'm thinking, and then some woman stopped me and went, you're that off that video, aren't you? Can I have a picture? And then the kids all come, and then people started, my head fell off. And I was like, what the fuck's happening? And I was like, oh yeah, I got a few pictures. And I was like, I'm going to have to get off. And just left Tesco. Didn't get bread or milk or nothing.
Sometimes you need that, just a little break, isn't it? You
know?
Yeah.
That one video, like you said, one video.
That one thing, yeah. Just that took off. And then, luckily, I mean, I think I was in a dead nice position, but and I think TV fucked up in a way because what I do, like, it always gets cut out of TV, like because TV has to be so careful in what they say. And like if you do like live at the Apollo, they want you to tell them what you're gonna say first, and then they tell you if it's okay, and if you deviate at all, they cut it out and stuff like that. So people were kind of like. People found it refreshing that like I was on, every comedy club has a compere, like someone who does kind of what I do. But people like it's become it's a bit bad because it's just standard comparing questions to go, what you do, but people think that's me now. Do you know what I mean? Like there's compares all around the country and they're going, what you do? That's fucking Paul Smith, that. They're like, fuck off, no it's not.
Have you ever had anyone proper take it the wrong way when you've raffed them in the crowd?
Do you know what? The only people who ever like, it's mad. It's not the people you think. Like I always pick who I aim at. Like I'll always pick. I always go for fucking big fellas because they're normally sound. Anyone, like you said before, anyone who knows they're hard. Like I remember picking on Lee Chadwick. You know, gave him so much. Saying I was going to take his beard off him and everything. he just sat there laughing his head off, just having a lovely time. Do you know what I mean? Because they're so comfortable in themselves and they know like I'm not threatening. It's just like it's fine.
Right guys, thanks for watching so far. Hope you're enjoying the episode. Today we are sponsored by Delusional Optimist. It's a new clothing brand for the ambitious. They've created the brand for all you ambitious underdogs out there chasing your dreams and going at it daily, so you can wear clothing that truly resonates with you. Being a delusional optimist means that you believe so blindly in yourself that your goal, and that the people who are built around you cannot call you delusional. Remember, others are meant to believe it like you do. That's why it's your vision, not theirs. You can now use the code TANKEDUP for 20% off your order. We'll put a link in the description. Please support them because they support us.
It's really attractive women who can't take it. It starts because like, because they're always fucking knobheads, aren't they? Because no one tells them in life. It's not their fault. Nobody tells them. Do you know what I mean? So like the Sky had one. COVID, when we come back off COVID, we had these fucking the front row had to be like taped off because we're obviously social distancing, and so we come in and this fucking girl comes in like 5 minutes into the show, rips the tape off the front row and goes to sit down like as if and I went, who the fuck do you think you are? And she was like, I went, who the fuck do you I said, you're acting like a 9 and you're a 6. Go and sit at the back. And she was fucking fuming. And you could see a fella was dying to laugh. But then he thought, I'm going to have to fucking do something here. Do you know what I mean? So he was like, do I front this out or whatever? So it just all kicked. But what's he going to do? Do you know what I mean? And it's a weird because the social pressure. Yeah. Everyone's looking at them then and people aren't used to that. So they just flap and panic. It was a proper funny situation.
It's like the Will Smith thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
like...
It's good.
Like
you felt like you had to do it.
Do I have it out with him now, or do I have it out with her when I get home? Innit? So what do you do?
If I don't have it out with him, I'm gonna have she's gonna kick off when I go.
Yeah, why didn't you go and slap Chris?
Put yourself in that position. I mean, you go to a comedy club or any sort of gig with the Queen. You've got to be prepared to get a bit of stick.
You know, don't you?
And it is women. You know, when Scott got married, my nephew got married, and we had a stag do. We went to the comedy club in Cardiff. Yeah. Brilliant, right? We sat there, brilliant. They were ripping a piss out of us, great bit of fun. And he made a comment to some piece, like a feminist remark. The comedian was good, and like she's like, who do you think you are, you fucking pig and all this. So we've all started chatting, fucking sit down, you slap, like, and then she's like, fucking picked the glass up, throwing it there, and then like they dragged her out. This is mental. Why would you come?
Why would you come to a comedy?
Why would you even come here? It doesn't make sense.
I had 5 proper kickoffs on my last tour, and they were all
women,
middle-aged women. One, I was in Carlisle last week, and I started the show talking about it. This woman, fuck me, like she should have been in the UFC. To be fair, she fucking sat in the front row, smashed with a fella, and she starts giving shit, and she's not. So I'm slamming it, and then my support act, Danny, who's incredible, he's so fast. He goes and he starts slamming, so she just can't handle it. So it's not going her way. So she starts like getting more and more leery. So security just goes over and just leans in and goes, like, can you be quiet? And she goes, fuck off, like that. So the security goes to grab her and she goes, bang, head on, right? But the security guard, I'm at the side of the stage with my cameraman going, fucking film this, like that. Then, so all the crowd is Carlisle, so they're all rough as fuck, so they're all like, get her out, like that. So 3 security come over, start dragging her out, right? Her husband stands up, starts going, out. He stayed for the whole show. She got arrested outside, and I was like, you're boss, you.
I bet you just see it coming. You might just, when you start laughing, like, and I bet you know the type to the T now, you just think, here we go.
Yeah.
You're a fucking nightmare.
It's mad. They got no sense of like self-awareness.
Yeah.
They just haven't, because they just don't. They've got no, like, lads get checked, like, especially from a young age. If you're too much of a cunt, you're gonna get punched by someone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Women don't have that kind of. I don't want to be coming across as a sexist. I'm sure they do, but like, it's just like there's not the same level of like, especially attractive women get given too many things for free. So like when they get told off, they're like, it's a weird thing as well psychologically, because you can kind of, they fume, but sometimes I've done it to a few of them, and then they sit there and they're kind of like looking at you as if to go, I fancy him now. Like break them psychologically. Mad.
Watch the fucking feminists jump on the comments now.
I know. It's like
sexist pigs, a lot of it.
It's that Andrew Tate comment in it. He says about like, I've had to work all my life to get this yacht, but the fit girl's just got to have a good Instagram feed. Like,
yeah. To be fair though, half them people have got a yacht. The dad gave them it, so
But my favourite clip, and I wanted to ask you, was when you got stuck into that front row, and the guy comes back with sign language.
He weren't deaf, and I fucking knew he weren't deaf. I mean, to be honest with you, I've got a fucking. He's fucking sold me some tickets. That fucker.
But was he genuinely deaf, or was he like?
Of course he weren't deaf. He was doing this. I fucking knew he weren't deaf. I knew he weren't deaf immediately, and I was like, but I can't tell you you're not deaf. Because if you're deaf, I'm fucked. So all the way through, I've got the whole thing all the way through the show. I was making sure I was like hiding punchlines from him, and then at the end I went, I fucking know you're not deaf, because you've been laughing at this, and I know you couldn't say after, you weren't lip reading. And he was like, yeah, no, yeah.
It was sharp, though. It was clever. It was
that was
a brilliant moment.
And the one as well, I was fucking crying. I was explaining to my missus last night, we got fucking Paul coming on. She's like, oh, I've fucking seen him on TikTok, the one where you're ripping the stripper. He's like, you're the stripper.
Yeah. I've had some, like, you just get some mad moments. Like, there's a guy at the Barrow the other month, and the show started. It's just after, literally, 2 days after it started training, so I had a black eye. First session of black ledge, elbowed in the head. And so I thought, I'm going to have to address this. So I'm talking about my black eye, and I made a joke. And then this guy just gets wheeled in, severely disabled. Just gets wheeled in, dead slow. Because the only space for him to be is in the middle of the front, and it's just, and the whole place just goes. And I looked at them, I was like, what do you all think I'm gonna say? Yeah, like, what the fuck do you think I'm gonna do? And they all got a laugh, and then so he got to, and I went, you're all right, mate, and he was just there, and he went, I've been better. And I was like, thank you, mate.
What's the biggest crowd you've ever performed in front of?
9,500 Liverpool.
Is that in the airport?
Yeah, done that twice.
That must be brilliant for you being a Liverpool lad.
Yeah, it was incredible. It's incredible. Like, I'm not doing it there again, just simply because I feel like it was amazing for me.
Yeah.
And like, there was a point at the end where I got them all to put the phone lights on and like cheer, and it was incredible. It's a phenomenal thing to see. But like, for them watching, if you come and see me in a comedy club, or even like Cardiff, that St David's Hall is an amazing theatre for comedy. Like Dublin, the Olympia, there's a few incredible places. That's better. If that's about the level you want to be at for comedy, I think they're the rooms I like to play.
More intimate.
Yeah, arenas are too. It's good because you have the screens and stuff, but like, there's just the people at the back. They're not engaged with the show. They're all talking. It's like, it's just not the same thing.
Who's your favourite? Like, who did you look up to when you was an aspiring comedian?
There's a lot of like circuit acts that I always like the people you probably would know, like there's like Keith Carter, and there's loads of like Scouse comedians like Phil Nichol, and Tom Stade and people like that. People always ask me who my favourite comedian was. This is a dead tough one. I always remember, I gave that a lot of thought, and I always remember looking back, and I think stylistically, somehow, like if you come and watch my show and I do stories, do you remember Dave Allen?
Yeah.
So I love Dave Allen, and my dad used to let me watch Dave Allen. So like I remember he'd sit in this chair, Irish fella, and he'd just sit there and he'd tell these really slow, detailed stories. Yeah. So I think that somehow I've absorbed that. So when I do shows, like I have really long stories in there, and I'll try and put a lot of detail in there. Yeah.
Got any questions? Just got some questions,
we got
don't
some
we?
Patreon questions, 2 seconds.
You've got a Patreon, have you?
Yeah, we're fucking
serious in here.
legit outfit in here, we are.
Roadcasters and Patreons and everything.
We're trying anyway, we're trying.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
That's Jack's mother really is texting.
Yeah. Stop swearing.
Yeah. What tea is she on?
Fucking cheapest one.
So you've already done that. What's the worst gig you've ever done?
Fucking hell.
And why? We'll put on the end of that.
Worst tour show I've ever done was Whitehaven, because it was just fucking... I don't know if you've ever been to
Whitehaven.
Whitehaven's up in up in Cumbria. Yeah. The weird places, because it's full of fucking rough council estate people, but they all work at like Sellafield or on the nuclear subs, so they've all got loads of money, so they're just coked up to fuck.
Whitehaven.
So literally, like, they were sniffing coke in the front row.
Oh no!
And there was no way I could stop it. Like, yeah. and I mean, and it got to the point where I was like, I don't know why I'm even trying to stop this here. And I was like, have you all got cocaine in the front row? And I swear, right, they went, we get it off here. And this little old woman was like, I sell it. And I was like, what the fuck is... So it was just chaos. The whole thing was just fucking chaos. And it was completely... I didn't do any of the jokes. I was just... It was one of them where you go, sometimes they love it, but it's so frustrating because you've worked on a show and you know it's good. Yeah. And all they want you to do is go, John's a knobhead, isn't he? Hey, he's a knobhead. Yeah, he's a knobhead. He's fucking genius. He called John a knobhead. How did he know John was a knobhead?
But the productivity of that nuclear power plant's fucking through the roof if they're all coked up, isn't it?
Pain in the ass. But yeah, the most painful gig, the first time I ever died on my ass, it was a comedy competition. I got through to the semi-final of a big comedy competition that Peter Kay had won and stuff like that. And I thought, here we go, this is fucking it. I'd only been going a few months. This is it. I'm going to smash this here. And I had to get the bus up to Edinburgh. It took me 11 hours on this bus to get to Edinburgh. So being out on the bus all day, gig was at midnight, gets on stage, and I've got all these jokes about being ginger and fucking being a Scouser, and all the fucking crowd are American. I didn't have a fucking clue what I was talking about. And I always remember it. There used to be a program called Babylon 5, right? Sci-fi program.
Yeah, sci-fi program.
Yeah, and there's a fit woman on it, right? And she used to have these like mad tattoos on her head. She was like an alien woman, isn't it? So I'm looking into this crowd, right? I can just see this woman from Babylon 5. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, fuck off, that's the woman from Babylon 5. And I know I'm dying on my ass, and it's fucking silent, right? I've done 3 jokes and they've got fuck all. And I can just see her looking at me going, like wincing at how bad it is. And I was like, oh. And I swear, I still think about that to this day. That's like your grappling competition to me.
You know, like you said, you blew up 2019. So like 2020 and whatever, not going out and doing shows. What were you doing in that time?
Oh, like, my head fell off. As I said, I got a sword and just grew a beard.
How long was you without a gig during COVID?
I think we did about 9 months off, and then we got to go back for a little bit, and then they shut us again. It was fucking awful. And people were doing Zoom gigs and stuff, but I just refused to do it because I was like, I can't.
I think you're one of those that feed off a crowd.
Crowd. So I was I don't want to do that. So yeah, I was just fucking took up yoga and started lifting weights in my garage like a fucking hermit.
It was a mental time. Until you said that, then I'd never given a thought about like performers. COVID must have been horrific.
Oh yeah,
completely.
You know?
Same with us for the gym, you know.
Yeah.
For some people. Yeah, there was restriction, but it didn't really impact on their careers. No. You could still work from home, do your Zoom calls, do your work from a laptop. But somebody like yourself that, you know, makes a living, pays the bills by being in front of a group of people and making them laugh.
And the month after it happened, I was meant to go, so I had a tour scheduled through Evan at this tour, and we were about to go, and it was selling, and I was like, fuck, we're going to have to cancel this tour. And I was like, oh my God. This is bad.
It was a mental time, mind. I mean, you was due to fight
in London.
Yeah. And
because we fought in Copenhagen in September, didn't we? And we had a good little following, like a couple of hundred for my debut. And he was like, right, fucking London now. Second fight in the UFC. It was a nice match-up, and he was like, I'll take fucking 1,000.
What was your match then?
That Brazilian, I can't remember his name. And he was like, we'll take like fucking couple of thousand Welsh up here now, and they'll think, fucking hell, this kid got a following, and then boom, they cancelled it.
This was it.
They had fucking 3 fights in front of 10 people.
He went from like selling out the ice arena, 4,500 people on the back was him, outside of the UFC, where we were excited when we was like, God, this is going to blow up. Me thinking, I have some gym members. Right? And then like, they've cancelled him and it was like 6 days notice, wasn't it? We were getting ready to leave the next day.
Literally, we caught. It was everything was getting cancelled on like the Thursday, Friday. So we spoke,
and they kept saying it'll be on. We
spoke to Graham. I always remember it on the Saturday because I just bought my house. So we'd started the plan was rip my house out on the weekend, go for fight week, sort it out when we come back. I remember as we ripped the house out, didn't we? And then Graham rang. I was like, look, it's a bit fucking up in the air. We'll know for definite tomorrow. And then we got them on Sunday, went and trained because obviously had to cut weight and stuff. And they were like, London's off. They're gonna try and move it to Vegas. And when we was like, well, the fuck are we gonna get to Vegas?
6 days.
I am got a fucking visa, and it's fucking we gotta get 4 of us to Vegas on 6 days' notice and make weight. And they were like, he's like, yeah, you won fighting in Vegas. We might be able to put you on the Cage Warriors card. And I was like, I'm not fucking going back and fighting on Cage Warriors after having one fight in the UFC. And they all went tits up, and then they all got cancelled.
It just shut down. And I still look back now, and it was a mental time.
Well, it was literally. Got up fucking Sunday morning, went and cut weight in the gym ready for fight week, and then Sunday night I was having a fucking pizza in bed because the fucking show had been cancelled. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
It's weird.
You and Marshman were on that.
Me and Marshman,
we had so it would have been great for me. It would have been the first time we had two fighters from the club on the same card.
It seems really surreal now that it doesn't feel like it happened.
No, I said
it's faded away.
I talked to my mum about this yesterday. Like I look back and. I was watching something on the television and it flashed back to early part of 2000. Oh, that perfect school. I don't know if you watched it. It's a school in Cardiff and it's just for special needs kids. And they stayed open through the pandemic. So they were showing, I was saying, only a year ago when I was in the school, I'd have to leave my office, put a mask on to walk up the corridor. It was like, and some of the stuff in place. I'll give you an example now. All the kids, we had 1,700 kids in the school where I worked 3 days a week, would all come in on the same buses. But then would have to be segregated in the school into year groups.
Nuts as fuck.
And I'm like, this is making no sense.
I was watching...
Making no sense at all, because I can come on the bus with you, and then I can't speak to you for the rest of the day in school.
I've been
get back on the bus and go back home.
I've been watching that Last Chance U basketball on Netflix, the second series, and the first series. They got to the end of the season, and COVID comes, so the season got cancelled. So like... And it's weird to watch now, and it was only a year ago, and they're cutting about, and it's exactly the same. So obviously, they're all like college basketball players, so... They're playing on the court against other teams, fucking playing basketball. But then when they go back to the change room or go back to the fucking classroom, they got to sit apart from each other and they train them with masks on. So that you got to wear your mask to train. But when the game start, you fucking the COVID won't touch you. You take your mask off.
I reckon they were the best. You know, I reckon they had him in the fucking room saying, right, how can we fucking wind this knee fuck up?
Right, let's fucking
and he's there going, I tell them we'll be fucking brilliant. Put them all on a bus together, but then tell them they can't speak to each other the rest of it. It is
common sense.
And then you all go and have a bath.
Absolutely mismanaged beyond belief. You know, and I'll be blunt. We didn't stop training.
Nah, fuck
right?
them,
we were locking the door.
They can't do fuck all about it now. We train every day.
And one day, I had 30 lads in the gym, and they were coming from Merthyr, from Swansea, from Cardiff. We never had one case of COVID during that lockdown. We're on top of each other, sweating on each other. So they've all shot off. I'm putting the Hoover around on my own. Fucking open the door, the cops are there, mate. Right? She goes, we've had a report that you've got people in your training.
Come on in, love.
Come on in, love. I said... Me and my son were down earlier. I said, we own it. I said, fucking breaking me this COVID. I had the coppers like, oh, I'm really sorry about this, Rich. Oh, it's terrible what you're going through. I thought you come 30 minutes here. You come 30 minutes here, about a 10 grand fine.
We took a fight in Fight Island in July, and this was like peak COVID, and it was fucking nuts because people were like, how are you going to train? And we had to hit them with the sobs, like, oh, I'm fucking really struggling. I'm having to go for a road run and down the gym on my own, running. fuck knows I'm gonna prepare. Fucking, I was like, me and Brett were sparring fucking twice a day down the gym. Fuck, I'm just lock the door. We lock the door if anyone comes. We have to chuck Brett into the cage.
It was, man.
Any more, Joe? Any other cues? I know there's fucking people flooding me a message. Like, send them to fucking Joe.
Right, 2 seconds. We've gone through a lot of it, to be fair, already. What's the worst Karen-like thing you do? If you do any Karen-like thing.
Karen-like things? What do you mean, like moan about stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. Quite late. I don't know. I'm quite particular. I'm trying to think now. What would my missus say? Yeah. I'm quite particular with routine. Like if someone gets in the way of my routine, I'm like I just lose my head.
Start stressing you out.
Yeah. Especially if I'm working. Like I feel like I'm the centre of the universe. I'm a bit of a prick. If I've got a show, I'm like, oh fucking everyone needs to be where I need them to be, and everyone's like, no, we are human beings. Fucking shut the fuck up. But now I'm not. Like my missus is more of a like. She shouts at me for not like. If someone brings me food wrong or something, I'll just eat it. They can bring me the wrong meal. She's like, send that back. And I'm like, oh, no.
That's me. That's me all the way to the fucking back. My missus is like, do you want me to send that back? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, I get it to say.
Oh, she's like, what's the matter? I was like, I didn't. I ordered that. She's like, right. Pull him over. He didn't order that. Send it back. I just sucked it up and ate it.
I'm exactly the same as that. You like fight in a cage, but won't tell the waiter. Fucking, I'm exactly the same with my missus.
My missus is so much harder than me.
You know, I think that's in general, innit?
Yeah,
like my mother's much harder than all of us.
Yeah. My missus, the first time we were on about the third date, and we ended up in this kebab house, and a guy just stood there, he's pissed, and he went, you're a comedian, aren't you? I went, yeah. And he was like, I think you're fucking funny. And he like squared up. And I was like, oh, fucking hell. But he was only small. And I was like, oh, fucking hell. I mean, missus just fucking shoulder barged him. I went, fuck off now or I'll one bomb you. And he just fucked off. And the whole kebab house went, your sound, you.
Let me tell you, if his mother was born in, I don't know, back in the Jesus days, she'd have been a gladiator, wouldn't she?
Oh, yeah.
She thrives on confrontation.
Yeah.
She actively looked for confrontation. She's not afraid of confrontation. She's actively looking for it.
Right? She's just fucking big and she's fearless. That's growing up with one of 6, I think. Because the brothers are all
with 5 brothers, yeah. You're like, fucking mum, you're going to end up getting me either beat up or fucking locked up.
How many times I go, listen to me now, shut your mouth, because it's going to end up that I'm going to end up doing a 5-year prison sentence for somebody because you have kicked it off. Now, shut up. Let's just walk away from this situation now before we... There's no foresight and stuff, are they?
Or fear.
Oh. How are you finding the training, like, with your tour and all that as well? Is it hard to mix it in? Or?
Yeah. Schedule it's been hard to like figure out where I'm going to be and trying to get the right. I mean, it's fine. I'm just starting out now, so I'm just, as long as I'm getting something in every day, I'm all right. When it's later on, when it starts having to be a bit more specific,
do a proper camp.
Yeah.
Will you take some time off work?
No, I've literally got shows like 2 days before.
Before the fight?
Yeah, and then I've got to be in Aberdeen 2 days later, so I've got to hope I don't get my jaw snapped.
You're going to have to go Billy Big Bollocks and take an entourage with you to do some training.
Yeah. Will you do like the camp with Tom?
Yeah, so Tom's the head coach, and then obviously I've been dead lucky that I've had nice people who have let me jump in while I'm travelling around. I don't know how I'm dieting now to try and get down to weight, and that's been hard. That's the hardest bit. Yeah. The training's not the hard bit, I don't think.
No,
like it is. But
have you lost much weight now?
I'm down. Like I'll start at 90. I'm like 87 now.
Yeah.
I need to get to like 8. I'm gonna settle at like 84 and kind of just
84 is a perfect weight for welterweight, isn't it? So I mean, if you're not fighting till November, even if you're only losing a pound a week, a pound a fortnight, it'll gradually come off. Yeah. So it's about doing it right, not killing yourself, keeping your energy levels.
But that's the thing with
you need energy levels for your career.
I need to have energy in the day, because I said to I had the nutrition coach, and I said, because he was like, we'll have a couple of low carb days, and I tried one, and I got on stage, and I was like
flat, yeah,
and I just couldn't fucking my brain just went wobbly, and I was like, couldn't remember no one's name. I was just bad. I went, I can't do that.
You know when you've done St. David's essay, have you got a supporting act?
Yeah.
Is it your regular guy, or do they put somebody else on with you?
No. So I have 3 people who I have with me.
So and they rotate.
One of them.
So you all travel together as a group?
Yeah. We travel together, and so I've got most of the time comes with me. My tour manager is my missus' best mate, and then I have a camera guy who's like become dead good mates with me.
Where in Dublin are you playing?
Olympia Theatre on Temple
Have you been to Dublin before?
Yeah, I've been a few times. I filmed my last special there.
They good crack?
Yeah, that's probably... I shouldn't say this because I should say Liverpool, but I'd say probably my favourite place to play.
Well, we've always said about the Dublin crowd with MMA. He was still under. We went and watched the UFC. Joe Duffy was fighting Poirier main event, and that fell through. And there was 8 fights on the card. And in Finish UFC, they offered a refund to anyone who bought the tickets to watch Joe. So I said, when we're here now, we've travelled out. He's not drinking or anything because he's fighting in 4 weeks. 4 weeks after in the European Champion. I said, come on, we'll go. And Paddy Holland was main event, wasn't it? And to date, it's the best sporting event.
And it was a shit, like, no disrespect to the boys on it, but it was a shit card. It was like
Till fought Dalby, but Till wasn't an household name. Till wasn't,
you know. Neil Seary
fought. Ashton Daly.
Aizen Daly.
Honestly,
Tom Breeze fought.
Tom Breeze beat them.
But like, but like at the time, none of the name they got names now. But at the time, they didn't have names. Yeah. But we got moved seats, didn't we? We was right at the fucking back. We didn't care. And like they fucking come out, like, oh, do you want to upgrade your seat? And we was like, where are we gonna fucking sit? And they were like, boom, right there. They were like, fucking right.
Make it look better on camera.
It was pretty much sold out. But what happened? I think like the big like £1,000 tickets that had probably thinned out a little bit because they paid to watch Paulie and they'd accepted the refund. So they moved a group of us here. So we were like 3 rows back from the cage, 4 rows back. Am I thinking about that? Was it?
No, you had like the floor seats. On the tiers, and we were about 5 rows back. Yeah,
and
that's where you want to be. That I think they're the best seats. You see right into the cage.
I've never seen a nation, and we've seen it since because we've been at Bellator, but I've never seen a nation get behind their own like that. It is phenomenal. You're going to be in the shittest Irish fighter on that card, right? But you had 8,000 people on their feet screaming blue murder for you. I've never, honestly, not I got any, but the ears were on the back. I was covered in goose pimples for the entire show.
It's the same with Bellator. Like I went to watch Brett fight in Bellator in September, and you got like 1-0, 2-0 Irish guys who were nobodies, no disrespect, but apart from their mates, no one is there to specifically watch them. And it's the same here, 8,000 odd fucking going bonkers just because they're Irish. Like,
and it's intense. It is intense. Like Scotty Pedersen fought Nathan Kelly. Like Nathan was like 3-2, Scott was 1-1. So not big names, not also. We've come up, when this kid comes out, the Irish lad, like, I'm in the corner, and he's right on the back of my neck, like, we're fighting him, but that atmosphere, honestly, it was, and I've always said to him, like, that's my dream, if it's for us to have that in Wales one day, you know. We haven't got the arena at the moment, and again, I've just read an article.
I was going to say, it's not...
There's nothing more to point to load 5,000 people, and the UFC won't come in.
They fucked up because they should have done this event now in March. This was their prime opportunity to do a stadium show. If they did it even if it weren't in the Millennium, they should have done like the Spurs Stadium, where because
get Leon in there, like
they sell the O2 out. They could put fucking Joe against fucking Jamie in the O2 and put the UFC banner on it, and they'd sell it out. Yeah. Whereas this being a pay-per-view, that you've got Gaethje on it, you've got Leon and Usman main event, it's a massive card. Isn't it? They fucked up. They should have put it in a big stadium, because next year now when they come back the O2, and it's probably not going to be a pay-per-view card.
Yeah,
hopefully Leon wins and they end up doing a big stadium show end of the year. But like, this was their prime chance, I think, and they kind of let go a little bit.
The problem is like, because I went to not the last UFC London, but the one before, and I was supposed to go to the last one, but I couldn't go. But I had mates who went, and I think you got a lot of problem with people fucking throwing drinks and shit like arseholes and fighting in the crowd. Yeah. But also, when it sells out. But it sells out to a load of resellers. And then you have a lot of retail companies pick up the tickets. It doesn't sell out because it can't sell out then, because no one wants to pay that much. Yeah. So then you end up with a not half empty, do you know what I mean? But big fucking pocket. It looks...
How they've never brought something in to stop that reselling shit.
It should just be direct sales. Because they don't need the outlets.
But then they can't figure out, what are we actually selling here? How many would we actually get?
I got tickets when I last fought tonight for a couple of my mates. And so basically on like Ticketmaster, if you buy a ticket to any event, you can resell it, but you can only resell it at the price of what you paid for it. Yeah. So why they don't just make sure that everyone who buys it has got to buy it through Ticketmaster? Because what, like Viagogo and all buying fucking £50 tickets and selling them for fucking 300 quid.
I couldn't get a ticket for your last fight. It was like $1,000 or something.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Years ago, Jack was when he was a kid, we were at the
WWE
wrestling. So I'm trying my best now. One of our last was skint, me and his mother struggling, you know what I mean, young family. So I go on eBay and I find 2 tickets, and like face value was 30 quid. £100 each. So this is years back, and it brought the bank to get these tickets. So we're driving up, we're on the bus, and like, oh, we've got good tickets. And fucking Jesus Christ. We were right on the very fucking steel curtain. And I'm trying to sell him the dream. I'm going, yeah, but he would see all the screens from me. Private
seats. I know, it's still fucking good though, isn't it?
I just thought myself, like, I look back and I think, like, you know, fortunately now I'm in a position where I can afford £100 ticket if I want to go on. But back then, you know, borrowing money, working double shifts in a factory. I just think it's ripping off the working class man. Yeah, and that's what grates me. Coming from an area like this, like the amount of people, like you said, you want a ticket to go and watch, but you couldn't get one because some millionaire company has gone and purchased.
That's the thing.
Yeah. 2,000-3,000 tickets.
You can't justify it when you go mortgage and get a grand for a night.
People resell my tickets all the time, and like I don't get that. Yeah. Like it just fucking winds me. And like I feel terrible and people get scammed out of it, and it's just I fucking hate it. I wish they'd figure out a way of stopping it.
I mean, cage side through UFC is £4,000 for this.
Yeah. Well, you say about I'm quite friendly with Theo Von. And I also listen to his part, and he's the same. He say he's noticed people are buying like 100 tickets to his shows and fucking selling them at triple the price, and he's saying like, just don't fucking buy them. He's like, just don't buy them.
Yeah, I'd rather
just come a different. He said, I'd rather you not buy them and not come than fucking get ripped off. He's like, just if you can't get them through the website, don't fucking buy them, because that's what they're doing. They're ripping people off. It's
bad.
It's a scam essentially, isn't it?
They end up making more money off your show than you fucking.
Yeah. Could you bring someone in like in house to do all that, and then you could kind of charge a little bit more? But
a lot of theatres these theatres make money from selling these. So like theatres make a little. So let's say my ticket's £20 or 20 odd quid. Then the theatre will add £3, and then there's a £2 booking fee and a fucking £1 admin fee, whatever the fuck they are. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's where they make their little bit. They make good money doing that kind of stuff. So they will only allow you to sell a certain allocation. Also, the theatres have quite elaborate seating plans and stuff like that, which is if we wanted to sell tickets, we'd have to kind of match that seating plan. It's a fucking
lot of work.
Some venues we can do it, but some like non-allocated ones we do sell a lot of the tickets for. But
do you get paid like per ticket sales, or do you get paid a fixed fee?
No. So we get a lot of the places we hire the venue.
Right, yeah.
And then obviously there's a lot of costs that go on, and then then whatever the profits are, we keep the profits kind of thing.
Anything before we wrap it up, boys? Like I just seen your t-shirt, but anything you want to plug before we wrap it up?
I got this off some guy. There's a company, but because I picked the fight name Pablo Escobar, and I didn't know there's a company by me called Hez Boxing, like in Widnes, that's just right by me, and they were like, "How can we make you a t-shirt?" And I went, go on. And he came back with that. And I was like, that's fucking phenomenal. so I was like, so I said, put them on sale and give them like a little bit of the profits to like the charity. So they started selling these t-shirts. Yeah, so I was walking around with my own face on like a twat.
Do you want to give details of your charity?
Yeah, so the charity's called Weapons Down Gloves Up. It's at Weapons Down Gloves Up on Instagram. Give them a follow. It's like Merseyside based at the minute, but I'm hoping like it branches out around the country and kind of scales up, or other people take inspiration and do like similar things, similar projects around the country. Because as I said, it's not just it's getting like cohorts into boxing and MMA and things like that, which is dead good for mental health. But also it's like just doing employment programs and helping people who just kids who don't think they've got a future other than going out and like selling drugs or whatever. It shows them that they've got another thing to do.
I also think it's good for discipline.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, some of these kids have never had anybody say no. Don't know what the word no means, you know. And in a restrictive area such as a school, you know, you're difficult by what you see. Like we've had so much success in the gym. We work with the Youth Offending Service for years. But they come and I can speak to them in my language. Like, watch your fucking mouth or you'll have a clip. Do you know what I mean? You know, you can't get away with that in school. And it works. And then they're looking up. We've had so much success. You know, Marshman is Marshman is somebody who should be involved in a charity like this.
Yeah,
because he's that guy. He's that guy that was going to serve 10 years in jail for violence. And then it's turned his life around.
Yeah, so they're the people they need to see.
Yeah. Agreed, mate. Agreed.
Yeah, it's a nice little inspirational way to end it, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Thank you for your time, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Paul.
Really
Don't forget,
at
Weapons Down Gloves Up on Instagram and everything. Follow him and support if you can. I've done this before once or twice. Nice one, Paul, for coming on. Thank you. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Follow Paul. Not he needs it. He got fucking 400k followers. But yeah, and we'll see you all next time.
Get those from the track for some man they wanna chat shit till I knock a mate like I'm Jack Shaw.